Most men die long before they're buried, not because their heart stopped, but because their vision did. They gave up the fight before they threw a single punch. They surrendered to average, not by force, but by choice. Let me be clear. What you're about to hear is not motivation. It's reprogramming. You don't need more quotes. You don't need another YouTube video. You need a new operating system. And it begins with this. Your life bends to your assumptions. If you assume success is out of reach, it will never touch your hands. If you assume you're not worthy, life will mirror that assumption back at you, again and again. This is the truth most men never grasp. You cannot rise above the identity you're still loyal to. You cannot build a future while clinging to the ruins of your past. You cannot serve two minds. One must die. The man you used to be. The one who waits for permission. Who second guesses. Who needs validation. Must be buried. Not next year. Not next week. Now. Look around. What do you see? Noise. Distraction. Excuses disguised as logic. Comfort sold as happiness. But let me ask you, do you believe success is inevitable or optional? Because how you answer that is how you live. The ones who move mountains don't hope. They don't wish. They don't ask. They declare. They decide. They dominate. You've been taught to fit in. I'm here to teach you to break out. You've been trained to think like a worker. Now you will train your mind like a billionaire. Not because of greed, but because of responsibility. Because you were not built for small thinking. You were not made to serve fear. Understand this. Success is not luck. It is law. And it begins with definiteness of purpose. Do you know what you want? Not what's safe. Not what others approve of. What you burn for. What wakes you up before dawn. What haunts your quiet moments. Andrew Carnegie knew. He didn't chase 10 things. He chased one. And became a legend. Henry Ford didn't wait for proof. He decided. When people laughed at the idea of a horseless carriage, he said, "Watch me." And the world bent to that decision. Say this now. I act with certainty. I move without permission. Again. Louder. I act with certainty. I move without permission. Because action is the only language the universe respects. You think belief comes first? No. Action builds belief. Discipline builds identity. You don't wait until you feel ready. You act until you become. The man who waits for confidence never moves. But the man who moves becomes confident. Visualize it. You, walking like it's already done. Speaking like the deal is sealed. Thinking like the door is already open. Why? Because the mind responds to repetition, not reality. Repetition builds belief. Belief builds results. Your subconscious doesn't care if what you repeat is truth or trash. It obeys. So if you've been feeding it doubt, guilt, hesitation, it will multiply it. But if you feed it certainty, power, purpose, it will weaponize your will. Mental rehearsal is not fantasy. It is preparation. Every great mind in history did it. Edison saw the light before the bulb. Lincoln saw unity before the war ended. Disney saw the castle before the foundation was laid. They didn't wait for the world to believe. They believed until the world caught up. Say it again. I believe until the world catches up. Because success is never given. It's mirrored back by the strength of your assumptions. Let others wait. Let others hope. Let others debate their worth. You decide. Because when you decide, truly, the world adjusts. People feel it. Opportunities find it. Resistance bows to it. You've played small long enough. You've lowered your voice in rooms that needed your roar. You've sought approval from people who haven't built a thing. No more. This is the line in the sand. The border between the old you and the future you. One steps forward. One stays behind. Make no mistake. You cannot become someone new while clinging to who you used to be. You cannot build an empire While protecting your comfort, it is time to burn the bridge. Kill the plan B. Eliminate the backup. Because commitment only exists when retreat is impossible. You don't need motivation. You need alignment. A clean break from the past. A decision so absolute, so final, that even your doubt has nowhere left to stand. Listen carefully. The mind you train will become the future you live in. You don't rise when the alarm goes off. You rise when the identity script you've burned into your mind no longer lets you sleep through your calling. You're not tired. You're undirected. You don't need more rest. You need more reason. Clarity is energy. Purpose is fuel. And discipline is the weapon. You think billionaires get up early because it's trendy? No. They rise early because they own their hours. They command their time. Because every hour wasted is power handed away. You are the product of what you rehearse. What you repeat, what you tolerate. If your mind rehearses hesitation, you will hesitate. If it rehearses domination, you will walk through walls. Control your input, or be destroyed by your default. You cannot consume trash and expect clarity. You cannot scroll 6 hours a day and expect focus. You cannot binge comfort and expect to conquer fear. Let me give you the rule of identity. You become whatever you respect. So ask yourself, do you respect vision or distraction? Conviction or comfort? Growth or validation? Because that's what you'll mirror. That's what your mind will train itself to embody. And once that training takes root, you'll move like it's instinct. That's what this is about. Not tricks, not hacks. A total transformation of default. Your default must become discipline. Your baseline must become belief. Your minimum must look like their maximum. And no, this doesn't come easy. Because easy doesn't build thrones. Easy builds excuses. Every man wants the throne. But few want the solitude, the sweat, the sacrifice. Few want the brutal self-audits. Few want to stare in the mirror and fire the version of themselves that's kept them average. But listen to me. That version must go. The version of you that says, maybe someday. The one who keeps rewriting the plan, but never takes the step. The one who makes inspiration a hobby, and transformation a theory. He doesn't survive this next chapter. You must become the architect of your reality. You must see with billionaire vision. Not dollars, but decisiveness. Not comfort, but command. Not someday, but now. Visualize it again. You waking up with a plan, a system, a standard. Not hoping you'll feel motivated, but moving like a soldier with orders from destiny. No wasted motion. No negotiation with mediocrity. No more applause for almost. Let me give you the formula. Say it out loud. I build discipline by design. I do hard things on purpose. I delay comfort to earn greatness. Repeat it again. Burn it in. Because repetition writes code, and code becomes character. This is how you program a billionaire mind. By repeating the identity until it becomes reality. Don't ask, what should I do today? Ask, what would the future me already be doing? Because he's not guessing. He's not dabbling. He's moving with deadly clarity. He doesn't wait to feel ready. He makes himself ready through repetition. Write this down in your mind. Clarity is a decision, not a discovery. You decide what matters. You decide what you become unavailable for. You decide what version of yourself walks into each room. Not the anxious one, not the insecure one, not the apologetic one, but the architect, the operator, the owner. You don't become him someday. You act like him today. Until the world forgets there ever was another version of you. You say, but I'm scared. Of course you are. That's how you know you're getting close. Fear is not your enemy. Fear is the compass. It points to the edge of your current identity. Do you want to stretch it? Or stay imprisoned by it? Do you want to live in alignment? Or die in permission? Because make no mistake, The world does not pay you for effort. It pays you for clarity. Effort with confusion is wasted time. Effort with clarity is unstoppable. Billionaires move with a different clock, not because they have more hours, but because they own their minutes. They don't fill their day with random tasks. They fill their day with leverage. They don't ask, how can I do more? They ask, how can I multiply? And that begins with the mind. The multiplication of identity, the compounding of belief, the momentum of decisive action. Say this now. I move with leverage. I act like my outcome is already secured. I bend time with clarity. Because belief without execution is vanity. Vision without discipline is delusion. Desire without identity is dust. You want results? You want power? You want a life most people only dream about? Then you must do what most people will never do. Kill the old patterns. Delete the weak language. Build your life like it's your last chance. Because it is. The man who moves like this doesn't check for applause. He's too busy building his name into history. Repeat after me. I don't need permission. I don't need consensus. I create. I command. I complete. Again. This is not arrogance. This is responsibility. The responsibility of someone who understands that leadership begins with self. That empires are not built by chance, but by choice. And the greatest choice? To never wait again. Never wait for the right mood, the right person, the perfect moment. You move. You move because you are aligned. Because you've already seen the outcome. Because you've trained the mind. And the body is simply catching up. You move because stillness is death. Not the stillness of peace, but the stillness of a man who stopped evolving. That man dies young, even if he lives to 80. Because the moment you stop expanding, you start decaying. Now hear me. No external force is coming to rescue you. No mentor, no guru, no secret seminar. You are the rescuer. You are the storm. You are the revolution your bloodline has been waiting for. It ends with you. The poverty, the passivity, the permission seeking, the generational fear. It ends here. It ends now. And what begins? A man who thinks in power. A man who acts in purpose. A man who wakes up, not with questions, but with declarations. Say it now. I am the pattern breaker. I am the standard raiser. I am the one they said would never rise. And I rise anyway. Again, feel that in your chest. Because this isn't about money. This isn't about fame. It's about agency. The ability to walk into any room, any problem, any battlefield, and know that you are equipped, prepared, wired for war, not because you feel ready, but because you trained for it. This mind you're shaping, it's not soft. It doesn't need applause. It doesn't wait for fair conditions. It builds while bleeding. It moves while doubting. It leads while others wait. Understand this. The greatest battles are fought within. The war against the old self. The comfort addicted, distraction chasing, excuse making self. The self that wants to snooze, scroll, overthink, underact, and stay realistic. That self is your true enemy. And that enemy must be outperformed. Daily, ruthlessly, relentlessly, not with anger, but with clarity. Clarity cuts deeper than willpower. Because when you know who you are and where you're going, nothing can confuse you. No opinions, no critics, no delays, no failures. Because even failure becomes a tool in the hands of a trained mind. You don't run from failure. You extract lessons from it. You alchemize it. You weaponize it. You use it to reinforce your clarity. That's how the billionaire mind operates. It doesn't attach to wins or losses. It attaches to principles, discipline, vision, execution, endurance, faith. Repeat this. I do not flinch. I do not fold. I finish what I start. Because most people don't lose because they're weak. They lose because they quit. They give up after one door slams, after one rejection, after one hard week, and then they build a story to justify their surrender. But you're not a storyteller. You're a builder. You don't tell the world who you might be. You show them who you've become. With your actions, with your posture, with your presence, with the way you don't chase. You attract, not because you're lucky, but because you've aligned your beliefs, your habits, your rituals, your priorities, to your dominant vision. Say this: I don't lower my vision to match my behavior. I raise my behavior to match my vision. That's the code. That's the core. That's the reason average men look at uncommon men and call them lucky. They don't see the nights, the silence, the resistance, the obsession, the fire that never turns off. Let me tell you the truth. Obsession is not a flaw. It's a feature. It's a requirement. Because nothing legendary is built with part-time effort. Nothing world-changing is made by men who kinda want it. You must burn for it. And not just when it's trending. Not just when people are watching. But when no one sees. When it's 4 a.m. When it hurts. When your mind whispers, "What's the point?" That's when the new you is forged. Not in celebration, but in resistance. Listen, most people think success is something you chase. But high performers don't chase success. They become success. They embody it in how they speak, how they walk, how they treat time, how they treat their word. Because success is attracted to identity. And identity is built through repetition under pressure. Say this: I become success before I see success. Now say it like you mean it. Because if you keep acting like you're waiting, you'll always be waiting. If you keep doubting, you'll always need proof. If you keep making your decisions based on fear, you'll always feel stuck. And that ends here. You move in faith. You act in courage. You become before you receive. You want to change your income? Change your identity. You want to change your environment? Change your energy. You want to change your life? Change your mind. That's the Napoleon Hill truth no one tells you. It's not about think and grow rich. It's about think differently and become undeniable. You rewire the thoughts. You delete the fear language. You speak future tense fluently. You live like the results are catching up to the man you already are. And guess what? They will. Because life is not responding to your words. It's responding to your identity, to your default frequency, to your unconscious standards. And when those standards rise, everything must rise with them. Your friends, your habits, your income, your influence, or they fall away. Let them. You are not here to be liked. You are here to be legendary. Let that echo in your soul. You are not here to be understood. You are here to be unforgettable. And that means you must walk away from everything that no longer serves your evolution. Comfortable friends, comfortable habits, comfortable excuses. Let them die, because your next level is not negotiated. It's claimed, it's owned, it's walked into, without apology, without delay, without fear. One decision, one standard, one identity, built, enforced, repeated. This is not motivation. This is transformation. Now say this: I think like a billionaire. I train like a champion. I build like a warrior. I act like I've already won. I walk as if the future is watching. Because it is. This is your new code. This is your new spine. This is the version of you that does not back down. That does not blend in. That does not return to average. Because average no longer recognizes you. You've trained your mind. You've made the decision. You've burned the old identity. And now, you build the empire. You write the legacy. You live as if destiny were watching. Because it is. Welcome to the new you. The unstoppable one. The focused one. the billionaire-minded one. You've stepped into the arena now. No more waiting, no more hesitating. The path you walk is no longer for the faint-hearted or the comfortably complacent. It's for the relentless, the fierce, and the unapologetically bold. The journey ahead isn't easy. It wasn't meant to be, but it's yours. You own it. Every victory, every setback, every scar, it all becomes part of your story. The story of a person who decided, once and for all, to break free from the chains of mediocrity and become the force of nature they were born to be. Now, the world will feel your presence. Your energy will shift rooms. Your voice will cut through the noise. The old stories they told about you, they vanish, because you no longer live by their rules. You live by your own. You've redefined what's possible, what's normal, what's acceptable, and you don't just talk about it, you show up and prove it. So, stand tall, speak with conviction, live with purpose. The future is watching, but it's not just watching, it's waiting. Waiting for you to step into the destiny you were always meant to claim. You've trained your mind, you've sculpted your identity. Now, go and build the empire that will echo for generations. This is not just transformation, this is transcendence. And as you walk forward, remember one thing. You are the storm. You are the revolution. You are the legend in the making. And nothing can stop you now. This is your time. Own it.